Chapter 11 Gu Family Branch, Clan Sister Gu Qinger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 11 Gu Yuji, Clan Sister Gu Qinger. Sir, can I sit down? Downstairs, Gu Yuxian had come to Gu Changqing's table, changed her previous unruly image, and asked in a delicate voice. Although she was asking, she had already sat down. Gu Changqing glanced at her. No. After saying that, Gu Changqing looked away again, completely ignoring Gu Yuxian. Gu Yuxian was stunned. She had thought of many possibilities, but she had never thought that this would be the case. She was rejected, and the rejection was so straightforward. Her face turned pale. Gu Changqing's no directly blocked all her prepared words. The scene on the first floor just now was so noisy that it was hard for Gu Changqing not to notice it. He didn't think he had anything to talk about with this unruly girl. Waste his time. Gu Yuxian suppressed her anger and stood up and left. Back on the first floor, Gu Yuxian, with a grim face, looked at Gu Qinger, who was sitting outside the crowd, and was furious. Are you a small outer disciple qualified to sit here? Get out of here. Gu Qinger heard the words and stood up silently, went downstairs, and found a place to sit down. Senior Sister Gu, don't be angry, that stinky boy really doesn't know what's good for him. Yes, it's his blessing that Senior Sister Gu likes him. If he knew that Senior Sister Gu is the daughter of the Deputy Pavilion Master of Chenxin Pavilion, he would regret it to death. If fighting was not prohibited on the ship, I would definitely teach him a lesson for Senior Sister. A group of supporters began to comfort Gu Yuxian. After a round of comfort, Gu Yuxian's face finally eased a little. The next scene, however, made her completely explode. Gu Yuxian stared at the first floor below, where Gu Qinger was sitting. There, Gu Changqing appeared in front of Gu Qinger at some point, and the two were chatting about something. Gu Yuxian's chest kept rising and falling, and it was obvious that she was very angry. The disciples of Chenxin Pavilion also saw this scene and were speechless. This time, I don't know how to comfort her. This is a bit too embarrassing. Just now, Gu Yuxian took the initiative to approach Gu Changqing, but Gu Changqing was too lazy to reply to her and treated her as air. Now, Gu Changqing, who was not polite to Gu Yuxian, took the initiative to find Gu Qinger. Gu Yuxian was so angry. Why? Why are all the men around that little bitch? Senior brother Han is like this, and so is Gu Changqing. Why, just because she is prettier than him? Below, Gu Changqing took the initiative to find Gu Qinger. It's not because of her looks. Gu Qinger is beautiful, but she is still far inferior to his wife Jiang Lianqing. What makes Gu Changqing care is that he has an inexplicable feeling towards Gu Qinger. Gu Qinger, who was approached by Gu Changqing, shrank like a frightened little rabbit and glanced at Gu Yuxian, who looked extremely ugly on the floor tea house, and thought to herself that it was not good. Can I sit down? Gu Changqing looked at the nervous Gu Qinger and asked with a smile. Yes. Gu Qinger said weakly. After sitting down, Gu Changqing said, can you believe it? I feel a little familiar with you, even though we met for the first time. After saying that, Gu Changqing regretted it again. Would his words be considered as an excuse to deliberately come and chat with him? Well, it is true that they are a bit similar, but it is not a coincidence. Gu Changqing really felt a sense of familiarity in her. It was strange, because this was their first meeting. Gu Qinger suddenly looked at Gu Changqing. Does the young master have this feeling? Actually, I do too, but we don't know each other. Is the young lady's surname Gu? Gu Changqing suddenly thought of something. Gu Qinger nodded her head frantically. My name is Gu Qinger. Gu Changqing. Gu Qinger was a little shocked. The young master's surname is also Gu. So, the familiarity between the two did not seem to be an illusion. Gu Changqing probably knew what was going on. Gu Qinger in front of him was not his relative, but he was from the same clan. In the most glorious period of tens of thousands of years ago, the Gu clan had more than tens of thousands of direct descendants, and even more collateral branches. Later, the Gu clan fell into decline and scattered all over the spiritual realm, and some branches even left the spiritual realm. Today, tens of thousands of years later, there are probably not many branches of the Gu clan left, but there are still some. The Gu family behind Gu Qinger is one of the former branches of the Gu clan. The Jianglin Gu family where Gu Changqing is located is also one of them. In other words, brother Changqing and I are of the same clan. No wonder I had an indescribable feeling when I saw brother Changqing for the first time. It turns out that, we have the same blood flowing in our bodies. Gu Qinger was very excited. Daddy once mentioned the Gu clan to her, and she only knew from then on that the former Gu clan was so powerful, but my father also said that no one knows how many branches of the Gu clan still exist today, maybe only their branch is left. Over the years, Dad has been asking about the descendants of Gu, but to no avail. Instead, he met a Gu tribesman from another branch first. Han and Qin empires. It's so far away. No wonder my father hasn't been able to get any news. The Han and Qin empires are too far away. During the conversation, Gu Changqing learned that the Gu family where Gu Qinger was located on an island called Wangqin Island. Its strength was much inferior to that of the Gu family in Jianglin. There was not even a strong person in the tribulation realm in the family. The strongest person is Gu Qinger's father. He has reached the 9th level of true spirit, which is really a bit miserable. Next, the two talked a lot, and Gu Qinger seemed extremely excited. I can't wait to tell Dad the news. If Dad knows about this, he will definitely be happy. Seeing the two of them chatting so happily, Xian in the tea house on the floor became even more furious. She flicked her sleeves and went straight back to the wing, out of sight and out of mind. He even started planning in his mind how to torture this little bitch like Gu Qinger. That night, Gu Changqing and Gu Qinger chatted for a long time. Until late at night, Gu Qinger was reluctant to leave. Brother Changqing, I have to go back, otherwise senior sister Gu will be angry. Gu Changqing stopped her and motioned for her to sit down. Go back early or go back late, what's the difference? Even if you go back early, will she let you go? Gu Qinger was speechless, but what Gu Changqing said was the truth. Sit down. From now on, as long as I'm here, no one can bully you. As for Chenxin Pavilion, if they are all this kind of people, then it's okay not to wait. Gu Changqing naturally can't let Gu Qinger go back. He didn't know that Gu Qinger was his own clan before, but now that he knows, not only will he not let Gu Qinger go back, but Gu Xian bullied Gu Qinger. I won't just let it go. He cares about the clan members and not everyone can be bullied. Gu Qinger hesitated. From Gu Changqing, she learned about the situation of the Gu family in Jianglin. Although it was better than the Gu family on Wangqin Island, it was still limited. If they faced a behemoth like Chenxin Pavilion, Chenxin Pavilion is guarded by a half-step king-level expert. At best, she would be bullied and humiliated for a while when she went back. She didn't want to implicate Gu Changqing or the Jianglin Gu family behind Gu Changqing. It's nothing good. Yes, I'll get a room for you later, and you'll live next door to me. Gu Changqing's attitude was very tough and he didn't give Gu Qinger any chance to refuse. Window_tabula equals window_tabula_tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300x250, target_type, mix. Chapter 12 Senior, is it you? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, after Gu Xian woke up, the disciples of Chenxin Pavilion gathered together, but Gu Qinger was the only one missing. Dong Hao, that little bitch hasn't come back since last night. A disciple named Dong Hao's Chenxin Pavilion hurriedly said, Senior sister, Gu Qinger, hasn't come back. What a bitch. You get involved with someone on the first day we met, bitch. Gu Xian didn't sleep well last night and was so angry. What happened to make Xianer so angry? Come and talk to Uncle Wan. At this time, the door of the hall was pushed open, and an old man walked in. Looking at the cursing Gu Xian, he suddenly smiled and asked, in this Chenxin Pavilion training, there are a total of more than a dozen teams. Each team is led by 2 to 3 Tribulation Realm elders. This old man who calls himself Uncle Wang is named Wang Zhong, and he is the leader of Gu Yuxuan's team. Unlike other teams, Gu Yuxuan's team has an elder guard. But this elder Wang Zhong is stronger than the 2 or 3 elders in other teams combined. This is arranged by the deputy master. Personally, after all, it is the team that the deputy pavilion master's daughter belongs to. Uncle Wang. Seeing the visitor, Gu Yuexian immediately looked aggrieved. It's Gu Qinger. She stayed up all night last night with a man she just met. She was so embarrassed. Why do people like this still stay in Chenxin Pavilion? Bring shame to Chenxin Pavilion. Oh. Is there such a thing? Wang Zhong looked around, and everyone he saw nodded, but Wang Zhong still doesn't believe it. He knows very well who Gu Yuexian is. She is unruly and willful. Because her father is the deputy pavilion master, he is usually arrogant and domineering in the sect. If the words coming from her mouth, they must be true. Bah. At this time, the door was pushed open again. Elder Yang. Why did you come back? Pushing the door open, there is another training team. If Gu Changqing were here, he would definitely recognize these people. Aren't they the same people he rescued from Chenxin Pavilion not long ago? Why are there only a few of you, Elder Ruome, Elder Ping, and other disciples? Seeing how many people were left, including Yang Zhen, Huang Yingying and others, Elder Wang was a little puzzled. They all died. Yang Zhen said with some sadness. What? All dead? Everyone's expressions changed. A team can have at least 20 or 30 disciples. If a few people from come back, the casualties are a bit heavy. What's going on? What happened? It was a big deal to kill dozens of disciples. You must know that all of them who came to practice this time were elite disciples of Chenxin Pavilion, the core, the inner sect, and several outstanding disciples of the outer sect. Every death is a big loss to Chenxin Pavilion. Dozens of them died, which was definitely a heavy blow to Chenxin Pavilion. On the way to experience, we encountered a king-level demon king. Elder Ruame and Elder Heping tried to buy us a little time to escape while escaping, but they both died. Boom! Everyone was shocked. What? King-level demon king? Old Yang, are you kidding me? Wang Zhong's voice was low. It's not that he doesn't believe Elder Yang. He knows very well that Yang Zhen is a person and can't just make it up to avoid responsibility. But this matter is really too unbelievable. How could a king-level demon king appear in the shallow sea area? How dare I joke with you about this kind of thing? There were countless people who witnessed it at the time. It won't take long for it to spread throughout the sea. Then how did you survive? Wang Zhong asked again. If they really encountered a king-level demon king, they would not be alive. A strong man who has passed through the king realm will save us. Otherwise, our team may have been completely wiped out. Yang Zhen said with a bitter smile. He still blames himself for failing to protect his disciples. Even now, he still blames himself. Wang Zhong sighed and patted Yang Zhen on the shoulder. I don't blame you for this matter. King-level demon king, not to mention you, even me, the pavilion master will die in front of him. You are lucky to be alive. We will return to the sect immediately and inform the pavilion master of the matter. Bang! At this moment, the door opened again, but instead of being opened, it was blasted open. Gu Changqing came with Gu Qinger. Hey, little bitch, you still have the nerve to come back and bring your concubine with you. Gu Yuexian saw Gu Qinger next to Gu Changqing at a glance. Without saying a word, Gu Changqing slapped him directly with his palm. Bang! With a muffled sound, Gu Yuexian flew upside down, blood spilled all over the ground, and she didn't even have time to scream. This scene happened suddenly without any warning. Everyone is confused. No one expected that Gu Changqing would dare to confront Gu Yuexian in front of Wang Zhong and Yang Zhen, the 2 Chenxin Pavilion elders. Wang Zhong didn't expect it either. After coming back to his senses, Wang Zhong's face looked particularly ugly, originally, because of the death of his disciple. He was extremely anxious. For example, there was another person who was directly talking to his Chenxin Pavilion disciple without saying a word, and that person was Gu Yuexian. The deputy pavilion master personally told him to take good care of Gu Yuexian. If Gu Yuexian has any shortcomings, How can she explain it to the deputy pavilion master when she goes back? Just as he was about to make a move, Yang Zhen said something, but his life stopped him from taking the next step. Senior. Is it you? Yang Zhen looked at Gu Changqing in surprise. Gu Changqing made such a deep impression on him that he killed a demon king of the king level with just one sword. Too scary, but he never expected to meet Gu Changqing again here. Senior. Wang Zhong looked at Yang Zhen in confusion, but did not move any further. Yang Zhen's call of senior made him feel something was wrong. As an elder of the Dust Heart Pavilion, Yang Zhen's cultivation reached the upper level of the Tribulation realm. Although he was not as good as himself, he could be called a senior. This senior is the king-level expert I mentioned earlier who saved us. Boom. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was shocked. Gu Changqing is a king-level expert. What a joke. Except for Yang Zhen, Huang Yingying and a few others, everyone's first reaction was disbelief, a 20-something-year-old king-level expert. What a fantasy. Gu Changqing also recognized Yang Zhen and the others, but ignored them. For example, he had a very bad impression of Chenxin Pavilion. Behind Gu Changqing, Gu Qinger was also shocked and covered her mouth. Brother Changqing is a king-level expert. On the ground, Gu Yuexian slowly climbed up. Gu Changqing slapped her with a palm, knocking her unconscious. Her face was already bloody and she covered her face with disbelief in her eyes. She was beaten. From childhood to adulthood, even her father had never beaten her. When you bullied Qinger, did you ever think that there would be such a day? Gu Changqing walked towards Gu Yuexian step by step. This senior. Bang! Wang Zhong was directly blown away from the sea ship. If you plead for her again, you will die. The disciples of Chenxin Pavilion felt their scalps tingling. Elder Wang Zhong, one of the strongest elders of Chenxin Pavilion, he couldn't even block a single move in front of Gu Changqing. They had completely believed what Elder Yang had just said. A powerful king. This Qing was actually a powerful king, even stronger than the pavilion master. Everyone present saw a king for the first time, and there were storms in their hearts. How do you want to die if you dare to bully my sister? Chapter 13. If he is still alive, I will destroy your Chenxin Pavilion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Clan sister. Gu Qinger is the clan sister of this king realm expert. At this moment, everyone finally understood why Gu Changqing had to fight for Gu Qinger, but, isn't Gu Qinger's family a small family that doesn't even have a calamity realm? How could it be related to a king realm expert? But no matter how much they dare not believe it, the facts are in front of them. I'm wrong, senior, I dare not say it again. I didn't know that Gu Qinger was your clan sister. Woo. Gu Yuexian knelt directly on the ground, kowtowed and begged for mercy, crying and kowtowing, but Gu Changqing was unmoved. Swish. A spiritual sword passed through the chest, and the vitality of Gu Yuexian was rapidly dissipating. On the other side, Wang Zhong, the elder of Chenxin Pavilion, who was blown away by Gu Changqing's sword, returned to the sea ship. At this moment, his body was in a very bad condition and he was seriously injured. Looking at Gu Yuexian's body, he felt very complicated, but he didn't dare to say a word. Gu Changqing took Gu Qinger away, but said one sentence before leaving. If you teach a daughter like this, her father is probably not a good thing. Let your pavilion master kill him. After a while, I will go to Chenxin Pavilion. If the deputy pavilion master is still alive, everyone in your Chenxin Pavilion will die. One sentence directly determines the death of a deputy pavilion master. After saying that, Gu Changqing took Gu Qinger and stepped into the air, leaving behind the people in Chenxin Pavilion who dared not breathe. Everyone looked at me, I looked at you. It's not that sad. Even many disciples felt that this was a bit gloating. This Gu Yuexian was completely to blame. She is arrogant and domineering in the sect. And many people have been bullied by her, but they dare not speak out. This time she met a tough guy. She just said that she deserved it. Elder Yang came over and looked at Wang Zhong. Elder Wang, are you okay? Wang Zhong shook his head. No, that senior, please stay. Of course, he stayed, otherwise, he was only a 7th level robbery realm. Even if he was hit by a king realm, he would not be able to resist. I just don't know how to explain to the deputy pavilion master after I go back. Alas, when I came here, he also told me to take good care of Xian. I say, Lao Wang, you are not stupid. Explain. What is there to explain to a dead person? Dead? Wang Zhong suddenly realized that he was stunned. 3 days later, Gu Changqing and Gu Qinger arrived at Haiyue Island. Haiyue Island is not big. There is only one city on the island, named after the island, Haiyue City. Gu Changqing came just in time. In 2 days, the largest auction house in Haiyue City, Haiyue Auction House, will hold a grand auction, and many good things will be auctioned at that time. Haiyue Auction House is jointly controlled by the 3 semi-king families on the island. Gu Changqing plans to accompany Gu Qinger back to Gu's home on Wangqin Island after attending the auction. On the way, they pass Chenxin Island where Chenxin Pavilion is located. Gu Changqing's previous warning was not a joke. If he got the news at that time that the deputy pavilion master was not dead or escaped, then Chenxin Pavilion would have no need to continue to exist. At this time, Chenxin Island, where Chenxin Pavilion is located, the pavilion master, the deputy pavilion master, and the senior members of the Chenxin Pavilion had been waiting here for a long time, ready to welcome the disciples who had returned from their training. After a while, when the ships docked at the port, it meant that the elders and disciples who had gone out for training had all returned. The pavilion master of Chenxin Pavilion wore a blue robe and was not very old, about 4 years old. To say that the pavilion master of Chenxin Pavilion was not simple, he was not a simple person. More than 2 decades ago, Chenxin Pavilion was just an ordinary small sect in the Lanxi Islands. Since he took over as the pavilion master of Chenxin Pavilion, in the next 2 decades, Chenxin Pavilion developed rapidly, directly from an unknown small sect to one of the most powerful sects in this archipelago. He was a legendary figure, and now he was not too old, so he would definitely not have the hope of stepping into the realm of kings in the future. The deputy leader of Chenxin Pavilion, named Gu Ming, is an old man with white hair. He has reached the 9th level of the Tribulation realm and is the strongest person in Chenxin Pavilion after the leader. He is in a good mood today. His daughter found the spiritual which she had asked him to find and said that it was to decorate her house, wait for her to come back and give her a surprise. The leader of Chenxin Pavilion has no sons, but he got a daughter in his old age. He only has this one daughter, and he treasures her very much. No matter what Gu Yuexian asks for, he will try his best to meet her. The reason why Gu Yuexian becomes so willful and capricious is mostly because Gu Ming dotes on her too much. As the disciples and elders return one by one, Gu Ming finally sees Wang Zhong and walks over in a hurry. Elder Wang, you are finally back. Where is Xian? Come on, I'll prepare a surprise for her. She kept talking to me some time ago, saying that she wanted a piece of yuanling wood to decorate her room. It took me a long time to find it, but hard work pays off. I finally found it. Wang Zhong looked at the excited old man in front of him and shook his head. Yuanling wood? Just right, make a good coffin for your daughter. Huh? Gu Ming was stunned, and thought he had heard it wrong at first. Coffin? What does it mean? Wang Zhong ignored him, but looked at the master of Chenxin Pavilion and the other senior members of Chenxin Pavilion. Everyone, what are you waiting for? Before Wang Zhong came back, he had someone send a message to the master of Chenxin Pavilion in advance, fearing that Gu Ming would run away. Once Gu Ming runs away, the entire Chenxin Pavilion will be buried with him. An inexplicable sense of crisis arose in Gu Ming's heart. He just wanted to retreat, but, bang, the master of Chenxin Pavilion, who was standing next to Gu Ming, slapped his palm directly on Gu Ming's back. Puff. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and Gu Ming looked at the Chenxin Pavilion master behind him in disbelief. One blow, heavy damage. Pavilion master, why? I, Gu Ming, ask myself. I have tried my best over the years and have never done anything to disgrace Chenxin Pavilion. Why? Because your precious daughter gave me Chenxin Pavilion and provoked an existence that I cannot afford to offend. A strong man in the king realm, that the master of Chenxin Pavilion looked calm and his voice was cold and stern, and this is not an ordinary king realm powerhouse. He was about 2 years old when he killed a king-level demon king with one sword. He knew exactly what this meant. This king-level expert is not only extremely evil himself, but he is also extremely powerful in the Holy Land and Divine Court. Only forces of that level can cultivate such a monstrous talent. it's scary to think about the 2-year-old Wang Jing. I told you before that if you indulge your daughter like this, something will happen sooner or later, but you won't listen. That King Realm expert said, if you don't die, hundreds of people in Chenxin Pavilion will die. So don't blame me. If you want to blame me, blame yourself and your precious daughter. Besides, you haven't been sorry to Chenxin Pavilion. Do you believe what you said? Do you really think that the master of the pavilion doesn't know about your private activities? Go down and stay with your daughter. All the elders of Chenxin Pavilion surrounded Gu Ming. Chapter 14, A formidable being has arrived in the Sea of Thousand Monsters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Heiyueching, after arriving on the island, Gu Changqing went straight to an inn and stayed with Gu Qinger first. There were still nearly 2 days before the auction started. During this period, I spent a lot of time wandering around the island. Although Gu Changqing has been in this world for more than 10 years, this is the first time he has come to such a trading place for monks and warriors, which is quite novel. After giving Gu Qinger a few words and leaving a transmission note, Gu Changqing left the inn and walked to the Haiyue auction house. Gu Changqing had a lot of elixirs and materials from the Demon King, so he sent them to be photographed. Haiyue City is worthy of being a holy trading place in the nearby sea. Both sides of the street are filled with markets and vendors selling various weapons, elixirs, and monster furs and bones. It is very lively. Keep walking along the street, and at the end you will find Haiyue Auction House. Haiyue Auction House is located in the center of the city, a tower about 30 feet high. Welcome, are you here to send photos or? As soon as he entered the auction house, he was greeted by a manager who was very enthusiastic and polite. Send the auction and call the person in charge of your auction house. The things Gu Changqing wanted to send for auction were materials from the Demon King and many pill-level elixirs. The price was high and was not decided by a small boss. Gu Changqing's words made the manager frown and said with a smile, I wonder what you want to send for auction. I am the manager of the auction house, and most transactions are negotiated with me. Oh. Gu Changqing glanced at him. Do you also know the materials from the king-level monsters? King-level monster. That the chief was stunned for a moment and took a deep look at Gu Changqing. Seeing his appearance, Gu Changqing threw out a storage bag without saying a word. The boss caught it and looked inside with his spiritual consciousness. Hiss. When he saw the corpse of a huge monster lying inside the storage bag, the principal took a deep breath. I'm going to ask the person in charge to come here. Young master, wait a moment. The principal's voice was trembling. After returning the storage bag to Gu Changqing, he shouted to the people around him, come here, hurry up, take this young master there quickly. VIP room. Under the leadership of the staff, Gu Changqing came to a gorgeous and elegant pavilion. Not long after, a voluptuous woman dressed in exquisite purple satin appeared in the private room where Gu Changqing was. Young master, I've been waiting for a long time. My name is Mu Zi, and I am the person in charge of the auction house. The beautiful woman is only in her 30s, and her whole body is full of mature aura, like a delicate and ripe fruit, which makes people want to take a bite, and her every move is full of temptation. Even Gu Changqing was stunned for a moment. Charming body. Gu Changqing checked the system and found that it was indeed the case. Tianmei body, blue. The charming body is a charming body, but it is not a high-level charming body. It has a blue rating. However, there are only a few people who have a charming body, and there must be one person among millions of people. A person with a charming body is a natural choice for business, and is also the wife and Taoist partner that countless practitioners dream of. They are the best in the world. This Mu Zi had to be in a semi-king power like Haiyue auction house, otherwise, she would have been captured and used as a doting daughter long ago. Gu Changqing. After introducing each other, Gu Changqing went directly to the topic and handed over the storage bag. Mu Zi was a little surprised. When Gu Changqing saw herself, she was stunned for just a moment and then recovered. This control was much stronger than most young people she had seen. For those young gentlemen who saw me for the first time, every one of them wanted to swallow him whole. In their 20s, it is the age of youth and vitality. In this age, not many people can resist their own charm. After taking the storage bag from Gu Changqing, Mu Zi took a look. Although the boss had told her before coming, she still couldn't help but cover her mouth when she saw the huge Demon King level corpse. Although it is one of the largest auction houses in the nearby sea area, Haiyue Auction House has auctioned only a handful of Demon King level corpse materials. In the shallow sea area, the probability of a Demon King appearing is surprisingly low, unless they are hunting deep into the deep sea of the Benda Sea. But looking at the entire southern sea of the 10,000 Monsters Sea, there are only a few people who have this strength. Even those who are strong in the King realm do not dare to set foot in the deep sea area easily. That is the territory of monsters. If a strong king in the realm enters, it will be a disaster. Mr. Gu, I'd like to take the liberty to ask, where did you get this corpse of the Water Wolf King? After saying that, as if he was afraid that Gu Changqing would misunderstand, Mu Zi added, Zi didn't mean anything else, yes. I'm a little curious, but if it's not convenient for you to tell me, forget it. It was only at this time that Gu Changqing knew the name of the Demon King he killed, and smiled. I killed it with my own hands. Mu Zi rolled her eyes and said, I don't want to say it. Why don't I just say it? I made up such a theory that people will know is false upon hearing it. Mu Zi's reaction was as expected by Gu Changqing. It's normal for Mu Zi not to believe it, but other people wouldn't believe it either. But what Gu Changqing said is indeed true. If you pretend to be a little old man, wouldn't you believe this too much? Gu Changqing shrugged and did not explain anything further. What he said was all true. It was Mu Zi's business to believe it or not. In addition to these, there is also a batch of elixirs. The elixirs will not be auctioned. You can see what price your auction house offers. If it is suitable, I will sell them directly to your auction house. Gu Changqing took out another storage item bag and handed it to Mu Zi. Mu Zi glanced at the storage bag, and her emotions that had just calmed down became agitated again. Hui pill, Qi gathering pill, ice pill, detoxification pill. In the storage bag, there are all kinds of common elixirs, and there are a lot of them. This is not the point is, almost all of them are at the Danwen level. Danwei level elixirs are difficult to refine. Even if a high-level alchemist refines low-level elixirs, such as a third-level alchemist refining first-level elixirs, they must refine elixir-level elixirs. Moreover, the elixirs in this storage bag all have multiple elixir lines. The highest one even has lines. The person who refined this batch of elixirs must be an elixir emperor, right? Dan Huang. Is there an alchemy emperor in the Sea of 10,000 Demons? It has appeared in history, but in the past few hundred years, there have been few alchemy kings, let alone alchemy kings. Taking a deep look at Gu Changqing, Mu Zi wondered whether Gu Changqing had some bad luck and found a cave left by his ancestors somewhere. Another complete demon king corpse, and a large number of pill-level pills. Mu Zi thought about it for a moment. 26 Hui Dan, 3 with lines, 10 with 7 lines. After some statistics, Mu Zi gave a quotation. The auction house is willing to pay 53,000 low-grade spiritual stones to purchase the batch of elixirs in Mr. Gu's hands. What does Mr. Gu think? Before Gu Changqing came here, he also knew the prices of many pills. The price given by Mu Zi was not low. As for the corpse of the Demon King, if it is to be auctioned, Haiyue Auction House will charge 5% of the final transaction price as a handling fee. What do you think, Mr. Gu? Young master, please give it to me, Haiyue Auction House. Zi will definitely try his best to get a price that satisfies you. Gu Changqing didn't bother to bargain for that little spiritual stone. This time when he went to see, the Demon King was pleasantly surprised. The body of the Water Wolf King was more valuable than the pills in his storage bag put together. By the way, if there are still pill-level elixirs, can your auction house still take them? Before leaving, Gu Changqing suddenly asked. He has no elixir now, but he is still practicing. If Haiyue Auction House can afford it, it will save Gu Changqing from finding other places to sell it. Young master still has it with you. Mu Zi was shocked. The storage bag Gu Changqing gave her just now already contained enough pills. I thought that was all, but judging from Gu Changqing's tone, it seemed that he still had more. No, but I will practice again. If your auction house can afford it, we may have a long-term cooperation. Mu Zi. In Mu Zi, Gu Changqing becomes more and more outrageous. You have killed the Demon King, and you have refined second and third grade elixir level elixirs. Do you think you are the elixir king? As much as the young master has on you, even Haiyue auction house can eat it. Pills, especially pills for healing wounds, restoring spiritual power, and detoxifying, have always been in short supply. In the southern part of the Sea of 10,000 Demons, there are so many sects and monks that the demand for pills is definitely an extremely huge number. There are situations where it cannot be sold. That's good. Gone. Without staying longer, Gu Changqing left directly. Mu Zi was left with a depressed look. Mu Zi looked at Gu Changqing's leaving figure and shook her head. She didn't have a good impression of Gu Changqing, mainly because this guy spoke so out of tune, killing the Demon King at one moment and refining elixir-level elixirs at the other. After Gu Changqing left, an old man appeared behind Mu Zi from nowhere. Sir Ian, that the appearance of the old man startled Mu Zi, and she quickly bowed respectfully. Haiyue auction house is jointly controlled by the 5 half-king families, and each of the 5 half-king families has at least one half-king. The Mu family ranks second among the 5.5-king families. There are 2. The Yin Taishang who appeared in the room at this time is one of the 2.5 kings of the Mu family. Xiao Ear, what do you think of this person? That the person Yin Taishang mentioned was naturally referring to Gu Changqing who had just left. Not very good, full of lies. Taishang Yin smiled slightly. You are wrong about this. What he said must be a lie. It is just too outrageous in your opinion. Ah, that this time it was Mu Zi's turn to be stunned, must be all lies. What's the meaning? 1 day ago, I received news that a Xuanhuan level demon king appeared in the southern part of the Sea of 10,000 Demons. However, he was quickly beheaded by a king-level strongman who passed by, and it was said that was struck by a sword. If my guess is correct, then the rumored demon king is the same one in your storage ring. And the elixirs he gave me also seem to me to be of elixir level. Moreover, the elixirs are round and full, and there is still a faint medicinal fragrance left. It is obviously not that there is a lot of left, but that they have just been refined for no more than 3 months. What? This time, Mu Zi's face was full of horror. Is what Gu Changqing said true? From beginning to end, he never told a lie. Is it because I think it's too outrageous and I don't believe it? Did you misunderstand him? 20 years old, King Realm. An extraordinary person has come to the Sea of 10,000 Demons. Taishang Yin sighed. Xiao Ear, when Mr. Gu comes again, please don't neglect me. If you make good friends with me, it will definitely be a great help to our Mu family. Taishang Yin did not blame Mu Zi. This matter is indeed too outrageous. The 20-year-old Wang Jing, who is definitely a monster on the spiritual list, would actually appear in this small 10,000 monsters South China Sea. Ear understands. Mu Zi has not yet recovered from the shock, a 20-year-old King Realm expert. This is too outrageous. It is not that there are no geniuses in the southern part of the Sea of 10,000 Demons. The one from the Xuanhuan sect reached the Tribulation realm at the age of only 20, but compared with Gu Changqing, it's not a level or a concept at all. While shocked, he was also a little worried. His actions just now wouldn't cause his dissatisfaction, right? Xiao Ear, if I remember correctly, you are not married yet, right? Yuri not young anymore. I think Mr. Gu is very good, very good. Taishang Yin chuckled, and Mu Zi immediately blushed. Your Majesty, please stop making fun of me. If what you say is true, people will look down on me. It's rare to see someone with a charming body. Marrying such a person, even if you are a concubine, is a great opportunity for you. I just said casually, let's go. After saying that, Taishang Yin's figure disappeared directly into the private room. Chapter 15, 20-year-old King, do you know what this means? You are listening at novelfull.audio. After leaving the Haiyue auction house, Gu Changqing did not return to the inn directly. With more than 50,000 spirit stones in his pocket, he planned to go to the market to buy some alchemy materials. 50,000 spirit stones is definitely a huge sum of money. You have to know that the entire Gu family's net worth is only about 50 spirit stones. Alchemy is really a lucrative profession. This is also thanks to the Dan Emperor Sutra and the Qinghua Dan body. Alchemists make money, but ordinary alchemists don't make money as fast as Gu Changqing. Nowadays, Gu Changqing refines elixirs below the 3rd grade, and almost all of them are Danwen level. Only when refining 3rd grade or even 4th grade elixirs, most of them will not reach the Danwen level, which is something that many 5th grade Danhuangs can hardly do. Although Gu Changqing is not a Danhuang, he is not as good as Danhuang in refining low-level elixirs. Half an hour later, Gu Changqing had bought almost all the spiritual herbs and medicines he should buy, spending nearly 20,000 spiritual stones. Gu Changqing didn't feel bad about this. The more you spend, the more you earn. The value of the pills made from this batch of herbs, excluding those for his own use, is at least more than 100,000 spiritual stones. After buying the herbs, Gu Changqing began to wander around the island, and soon came to a restaurant called Tinjiaxuan. It is said that this Tinjiaxuan is the best restaurant on Haiyue Island, no one else. It has been passed down for more than 100 years, and the recipes have been improved and developed by successive pavilion masters. They are not only delicious, but also extremely beneficial to cultivation. The ingredients are also precious ingredients purchased from all over the Wanyao South Sea. People once said that eating a meal in Tinjiaxuan is equivalent to practicing in seclusion for half a month. Therefore, although the dishes in Tinjiaxuan are very expensive, there is a reason why they are expensive. The ingredients themselves are not cheap. There are many cultivators who come here because of their reputation in the Southern Sea area. Tinjiaxuan has a total of 4 floors. The first floor is the largest, which can accommodate about 100 people. As long as you pay, you can go in. From the second floor up, you can't go up just by paying. You need to reach the realm of calamity, and it's not an ordinary realm of calamity. You need to reach the realm of calamity or above to qualify. The third floor is the half-step king realm, and the fourth floor is the king realm. From the second floor up, there are special recipes that are not available on the first floor. The higher you go, the more so. The fourth floor even has beast meat ingredients of the demon king level. Gu Changqing directly booked a room on the fourth floor, and then sent a message to Gu Qinger, who was in the inn, asking her to come. After earning so many spirit stones, why don't you reward yourself? And I also want to see if the dishes of Tinjiaxuan are really that magical, and they are worth half a month or even several months of hard training. Gu Changqing's realm has not reached the king level, but his strength is stronger than that of the Xuanhuan realm powerhouse, who has stepped into the first level of the king level. After a simple test, Gu Changqing directly got the jade token of the fourth floor of the RO-shaped box. Senior, if you come again in the future, you don't need to take the test again, just show the RO-shaped token. If you find precious ingredients in the future, you will be notified first. Of course, the premise is that you are still in the Wanyao Sea, hehe. The owner of Tinjiaxuan is a half-king level powerhouse. He personally led Gu Changqing to the fourth floor. When he saw Gu Changqing, he was also shocked for a while. This king-level senior is too young. He respectfully handed a jade plaque with the word engraved on it to Gu Changqing, and then left. King realm masters are rare in the southern seas. Even Tinjiaxuan may not receive a few of them in a year, so they must be taken seriously. Before leaving, the owner of the pavilion specifically told the steward that all dishes ordered by Gu Changqing would be discounted. The same will be true in the future. Discount? That the steward was shocked. If there is a discount, Tinjiaxuan will not only not make money, but even lose money. 20 years old, king realm, do you know what this means? That the owner of the pavilion glanced at the steward. A 20-year-old king realm will definitely be a person who hopes to impact the emperor in the future. Tinjiaxuan has never received any emperor since its inheritance. This level of monster, let alone making friends, as long as he comes often in the future, it will be incomparable to Tinjiaxuan with any number of spirit stones. On the other side, Gu Qinger asked for a while before finding the location of Tinjiaxuan. Looking at the magnificent palace-like giant building, Gu Qinger suddenly became a little nervous. Gu Qinger was about to go in when she suddenly heard someone calling her from behind. Gu Qinger turned around and saw a handsome young man walking over with a look of surprise. Beside him, there were several young men and women. Qinger, it's really you. After a brief surprise, she was replaced by a face full of surprise. Unexpectedly, she ran into Qinger here. Su Sheng. Qinger was stunned for a long time before she recognized him. She didn't expect that she would run into Su Sheng here. There are 3 major families on Wangqin Island, and Qinger's Gu family is one of them. The other 2 are Su family and Chui family. The Su Sheng in front of him was the eldest son of the Su family and one of Qinger's crazy pursuers. Before Qinger went to Chenxin Pavilion, Su Sheng had been pursuing her like a sticky candy, always circling around Qinger, making her feel annoyed. After going to Chenxin Pavilion, he finally got rid of her. Later, I heard that Su Sheng went to a big sect. Qinger didn't know the details and was not interested in knowing. Qinger didn't have any feelings for Su Sheng. It was like this before and it will be like this now. Junior brother Su, is this girl your friend? Behind Su Sheng, a handsome young man came over with a gentle smile. He stared at Qinger with his eyes fixed on her, and his admiration was not concealed. He was obviously attracted by Qinger's beauty. Yes, let me introduce you, this is senior brother Tan Jun, and this is... The look in senior brother Tan's eyes when he looked at Qinger made Su Sheng frown slightly. His senior brother Tan was a famous playboy in the sect, and there were many junior sisters and senior sisters who were harmed by him. In addition, his grandfather was the great elder, and he was unscrupulous in the sect, and even the elders had to give him face. Su Sheng originally didn't want senior brother Tan and Qinger to have too much contact, but now that they have recognized each other, it would be inappropriate not to introduce them. Qinger watched all this, but said nothing. The way senior brother Tan of Su Sheng looked at her made her feel very uncomfortable. She didn't want to know these people either. Seeing this, senior brother Tan was not angry, but smiled and said, since we haven't seen each other for a long time, why don't we sit down and reminisce about the past? I have booked a Xuanzi-shaped room in Tinjiaxuan. Sister Qinger, why don't you go up and sit for a while? Xuanzi-shaped room. Senior brother Tan's words attracted the attention of many people around. Those who got the Xuanzi-shaped room token meant that there was at least a strong man at the heavy level of the Calamity Realm behind senior brother Tan, and the heavy level of the Calamity Realm belonged to the late stage of the Calamity Realm. Looking at the entire Wanyananhai, this is considered a strong man. Su Sheng and his junior brothers and sisters were able to step into the Xuanzi-shaped room on the 2nd floor of Tinjiaxuan because of senior brother Tan. Excuse me, is this Miss Qinger? Qinger was about to refuse when a maid came down from the 2nd floor and asked Qinger. Qinger knew that brother Changqing had sent someone to pick her up, so she nodded immediately. Dear guest, please follow me to the 4th floor. The maid made a gesture of invitation. Qinger looked at senior brother Tan and Su Sheng and refused softly, no, my brother is already waiting for me. After that, Qinger did not stay and followed the maid to the 4th floor. 4th floor. Senior brother Tan looked a little ugly, wondering if he had heard it wrong. Did the maid say the 4th floor just now? Su Sheng and his friends naturally heard it, and they heard it very clearly, and nodded one after another, but in their hearts, there was already a storm. Before coming to Tinjiaxuan, senior brother Tan even specially gave us some information about Tinjiaxuan. Ordinary people, no matter how rich they are, can only stay on the 1st floor. For the 2nd floor, only those with their own strength or those with a strong person of the heavy calamity realm or above can go up. For the 3rd floor, you need to be in the half-step king realm. As for the 4th floor, the people who are not qualified to go to the 4th floor are either king realm strongmen or have some extraordinary relationship with king realm strongmen. The most shocked person is Su Sheng. It feels like a dream. Qinger's family is not unaware that it is just a small family on Wangqin Island, and there is not even a strong person in the Calamity Realm. How? Su Sheng does not understand and is puzzled, but the facts are in front of him, and he can't help but believe it. Chapter 16, Breakthrough is imminent. The auction begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Qinger went up to the 4th floor, all the dishes Changqing ordered were served. Steamed long-striped fish, deep shark head, purple orchid ginseng, southern blue water demon meat. All kinds of precious ingredients, each of which costs hundreds or even hundreds of souls. Qinger swallowed as she looked at the dazzling array of delicacies. there were many dishes that she had never heard of, not to mention she had eaten them. "Brother Changqing, how much food does this table cost?" Qinger didn't dare to use her chopsticks. Why did she feel that the food on the table was more valuable than her? "About 2 ling." Changqing took a piece of long-striped fish meat and put it in his mouth, while eating. 2 ling. Qinger's hands shook and she almost lost her grip on the chopsticks. "Now I feel it. The food on the table is really worth more than her." When she was in Chenxin Pavilion, the low-grade spirit she could receive every month was only a few dollars. To her, 2 ling are simply numbers. "Eat quickly, it will cool down in a while." "Stop making such a fuss, you, Brother Changqing, and I are king-level warriors. For king-level warriors, 2 ling is enough to spend on a meal." "Is that too much?" Qinger was speechless. Indeed, to a king-level expert, a few spirits are nothing. After the meal, Changqing was very satisfied. "I have to say that Chef Ting Yuxuan's skills are really impressive. This meal is the most delicious meal Changqing has ever had in this world." Qinger originally didn't dare to eat more, but she couldn't bear it and Changqing kept adding vegetables to her bowl. "The second level of thunder calamity is coming." Changqing could clearly feel that the spirit in his body had increased significantly and had reached the spiritual realm point. The first level of the tribulation realm has been completed. This meal is worth it. Qinger only has the true spirit realm, and the effect is even more obvious. Qinger, who originally only had the first level of true spirit, has now broken through to the second level of true spirit. Moreover, the food he has eaten has not been fully digested. After complete digestion, he is expected to reach the third level of true spirit. Qinger was stunned. Before, it took her several months to break through each realm. After breaking through to the true spirit realm, it became more difficult to practice. She has been stuck in the early stage of the first level of true spirit for more than 2 months, and there is still no sign of breaking through to the middle stage. Unexpectedly, this meal directly allowed me to break through from the early stage of the first level of true spirit to the perfection of the second level of true spirit. Doesn't this mean that if you have a few more meals, don't think too much? The effect of these ingredients will be obvious only when you eat them for the first time. After that, the effect will be less and less, just like the medicine that improves your cultivation. Qinger's face turned red. How could Brother Changqing know what he was thinking? After eating, Changqing and Qinger returned to the inn, waiting for the auction to begin. In the next day or two, Haiyue auction house began to publicize the corpse of the Water Wolf King. Haiyue Island, which was already very lively, saw an influx of people, and these people were all from the nearby sea area. General trend, there are even several half-kings. Changqing is naturally happy to see this. "Come on, the more you come, the better, and the higher the price, the better." This is exactly where the auction is held. Changqing and Qinger came to Haiyue auction house early. Haiyue auction house does not have VIP seats. After Changqing took the number plate, he followed the flow of people into the auction house. A huge staircase hall surrounds the auction stage in the center. The auction house is not big and can only accommodate about people. Haiyue auction house is one of the largest auction houses in the nearby sea area, and its specifications are naturally very high. It is impossible to get in without certain qualifications. Those who can sit here are all high-level figures from the major forces in the nearby sea area, deacons, elders, and even existences at the lord level. It was the first time for Qinger to see such a big scene. She looked here and there like a curious baby. The license plate number in Qinger's hand was number 188, and she quickly arrived at her location under the guidance of the waiter. The curtain opened, and Mu Zi, wearing a purple dress, walked out with a smile and walked slowly to the auction stage. "Long time no see, everyone. Yes, it's me again. I will still be the auctioneer for this auction." Her curvy figure, exposed jade back and fragrant shoulders, delicate and beautiful face, and the faint charm of her charming body made many people in the auction house start to get restless. Not to mention, some of the father-in-laws really came not for the auction, but for Mu Zi. Changqing could clearly feel that as Mu Zi appeared on the stage, the men who were originally a little uninterested seemed to wake up, and their eyes swept over Mu Zi fiercely, as if they wanted to eat her. "Okay, Zi won't waste everyone's time. let's get straight to the point. After a simple opening remarks, Mu Zi began to get down to business. With a wave of her jade hand, a delicate jade vase appeared on the auction table. The first auction item is a third-grade soul-shaping item with 2 lines. It has a miraculous effect on healing the soul's injuries. The lowest price is 300 lings. Anyone who needs it can start bidding. Although the soul-shaping medicine is a third-grade medicine, the required medicinal materials are too difficult to find, so the price of the refined soul-shaping medicine is also ridiculously high, even comparable to some 4th-grade medicine. 8 bailing. As soon as Mu Zi finished speaking, a black-clad man holding the number 307 sign in the 3rd row of seats spoke directly, and the price was 500 spirits. Changqing glanced at him. This man's soul was seriously injured. If he didn't get treatment, he would not live long. No wonder he was so anxious. 900 spirits. 1. The auction continued, but Changqing had no interest in these. The second auction item was 3 formation flags, which Changqing didn't need either. Changqing looked at the auction list. There were many things he needed, such as the 3rd-grade spirit sword, but it was not his turn yet. Of the 4 spirit swords that Changqing currently used to form the Xian sword formation, only 1 was of the 3rd grade, and the other 3 were all of the 2nd grade. It was difficult to find a 4th-grade spirit sword, so Changqing planned to collect a set of 3rd-grade spirit swords first. Once he collected 4 3rd-grade spirit swords, Changqing's strength would be greatly improved. Of course, if you want to improve the quality, you have to find a 4th-grade spiritual sword. Changqing finally showed some interest in the 3rd auction item. The 3rd auction item, Blood Spirit Fruit, a 3rd-grade spiritual fruit, can be used as the main medicine for blood essence, and can also be used as an auxiliary medicine for refining beauty. The starting price is 100 spiritual fruits. Changqing, however, knew the 3rd use of Blood Spirit Fruit, 9-turn purple gold, an ancient recipe recorded in the Emperor's Heart Sutra. 9-turn purple gold is a 5th-grade medicine. Changqing himself does not need it, but his daughter who is about to be born needs it. Children must be raised from an early age. Well, Changqing wants them to win at the starting line. 100 spiritual fruits. Qinger held up the number 188 sign, and Changqing bid. Chapter 17. Give you face. Who do you think you are? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Number 258, 300 spirit stones. Almost all the people bidding on the blood spirit fruit are women. As for the purpose, who wants to be more beautiful and younger? The one holding the number 258 sign is a beautiful woman in blue. If the full score is 100, Changqing will give her 80 points. By the way, Mu Zi is 91, Qinger is 95, and Jiang Lianxin is full. 100 spirit stones. Changqing continued to raise the price. He was determined to get the blood spirit fruit. Number 188, 100 spirit stones. Is there a higher price? Mu Zi recognized Changqing at a glance, and her heart moved slightly. 700 spirit stones. The woman with number 258 frowned slightly. Currently, only Changqing was left bidding against her. As for this blood spirit fruit, she was also determined to get it. She had prepared all the main medicines and other auxiliary medicines for beauty care, and even found a refiner, except for this blood spirit fruit. Hey, 1,700 spirit stones, this Dong Yen is really rich. What about the fiancée of the young master of the Mo family, is she rich? Many people present were not unfamiliar with the blue-clothed girl. The Dong family of Haiyue Island. This identity alone is nothing. The Dong family is just a small family, with more than 2 or 3 powerful people in the Calamity Realm, and they are all in the early stage of the Calamity Realm, but Dong Yan's other identity is a little simple. One of the most powerful families in Haiyue Island, the fiancé of the young master of the Mo family. This identity alone is enough to make countless forces with much stronger strength than the Dong family dare not offend easily. Most of the royal families not only control the Haiyue auction house, but also the entire Haiyue Island. Control everything on the island. To Lingshire. However, Gu Changqing didn't know this, and even if he knew, he wouldn't care. Continue bidding, 2 lingshi. Gu Changqing's big bid made people marvel. He was really rich. The market price of the blood spirit fruit was only about 100 lingshi. Dong Yan's previous bid of 1700 lingshi was obviously higher than the market price. Even if the blood spirit fruit was hard to find and rare, it shouldn't be auctioned at the price of 2 lingshi, right? Really, there is no place to spend money. Gu Changqing didn't know that he had been quietly labeled as a sucker and rich but nowhere to spend by everyone at this time. 200 or 300 spirit stones. Dong Yan risked her life. She prepared 200 or 300 spirit stones for this blood spirit fruit. This was her limit. If the other party raised the price again, she would have to give up, but she was willing. How much did she prepare for this beauty fruit? The blood spirit fruit was rare. Who knows when it will appear again? Half a day later? 1 day later? It is unknown. Sir, this fruit is very important to me. Can you give me a face? Give me this blood spirit fruit. Well, seeing that the money was a little stretched, he changed to a threat directly. Dong Yan's words made many people in the auction house sneer. Dong family. The Dong family is just a small family. What face do they have? But who knows, she, Dong Yan, is the fiancée of the young master of the Mo family. Rather than moving out of the Dong family behind her, it is more like moving out of the Mo family to put pressure on Gu Changqing. In fact, Dong Yan also wants to use her power to pressure others, but this blood spirit fruit is too important for her. It is so easy to get such a fruit, so she is willing to give it up. Next to Gu Changqing, a monk from the island whispered to remind Gu Changqing. Sir, I don't think you are a monk from the island. The Dong family is naturally nothing, but Dong Yan is the fiancé of the young master of the Mo family. The Mo family is one of the most royal families in Haiyue Island. It is not worth offending the Mo family for a medicinal material. Give it up. This person thought that Gu Changqing looked like a monk from Haiyue Island, and perhaps he didn't know Dong Yan's background, so he reminded him. On the auction table, Mu Zi watched this scene without saying a word. Logically speaking, Dong Yan's use of power to pressure others has violated the rules of the auction house, but Mu Zi did not shout or warn, but watched silently. It was not because Dong Yan was the fiancé of the young master of the Mo family, but when she wanted to warn, she was stopped by Yin Taisheng. Haiyue Island is too small, and it's a bit too much for the whole family to share this profit. This sentence made Mu Zi understand instantly. Gu Changqing had a blank expression on his face at seat 188, facing Dong Yan's threat. He didn't care at all. What Dong family, Mo family, and most of the royal families on Haiyue Island combined, what did he, Gu Changqing, fear? 2 pieces of 300 spirit stones. If there were 2 blood spirit fruits today, it would be fine if they were given up. He could bid for the other one, but there was only one on the auction list. Dong Yan thought, why would Gu Changqing need it? I'll give you face. What do you think you are? 2,300 spirit stones. Are there any customers who offer a higher price? Mu Zi's voice sounded slowly. After waiting for a long time, there was still no sound, so Mu Zi continued to speak. 2,300 spirit stones for the first time. 2,300 spirit stones for the second time. 2,300 spirit stones for the third time. Let us congratulate customer number 188 for bidding for this blood spirit fruit at the price of 2,300 spirit stones. Congratulations. Watching Gu Changqing bid for the blood spirit fruit, Dong Yan's lungs were about to explode. She suppressed her anger and said through gritted teeth, okay, I'll remember you. Gu Changqing didn't even bother to look at Dong Yan. From the beginning to the end, Gu Changqing didn't take her seriously. If it was him who wanted to ruin the auction, his finale Water Wolf King hadn't been auctioned yet, and he would have slapped the bitch to death to give Mu Zi a face. A mere ant dared to threaten him. And I thought that after Mu Zi made the final decision, the matter had come to an end for the time being, but with the arrival of a young man in a black robe and brocade clothes, things became interesting. Young Master Mo, how by, that the young man's eyes began to ponder. Now, there's a good show to watch. After Mo Haobai appeared, he walked straight to where Dong Yan was. Why are you here? Dong Yan's face was full of surprise. Before the auction started, she had invited her fiancé to attend the auction, but Mo Haobai said he had something to do, so he didn't come. Why is he here again now? The matter is settled, come and see. Mo Haobai looked at Dong Yan, and was stunned when he saw her aggrieved look. What's wrong? Who bullied you? Dong Yan looked in the direction of Gu Changqing. Mo Haobai looked at Gu Changqing and frowned slightly. Tell me, what happened? Dare to bully my woman? Are you tired of living? Dong Yan told Mo Haobai about the incident with a wronged look. Well, she exaggerated it. Oh. Interesting, in Haiyue Island, there are still people who dare to give me Mo Haobai and give face to my Mo family. Mo Haobai patted Dong Yan's shoulder and motioned her to sit down. He would handle this matter. Coincidentally, the next spiritual herb to be auctioned was also what Gu Changqing needed. Blue star grass, starting price is 1,300 spiritual stones. 100 spiritual stones. Gu Changqing bid. 2 spirit stones. Originally, there were still a few people who were ready to bid, but when they saw that the person who bid 2 spirit stones was Mo Haobai, the young master of the Mo family, they were forced to stop. He looked at Gu Changqing again, and the show was about to begin. He also began to mourn for Gu Changqing in his heart. The young man knew that the sky was high and the thick was thick, and he dared to offend the Mo family on Haiyue Island. The things were taken, but could he walk out of Haiyue Island alive? Chapter 18. If you have the ability, raise the price again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 18. Don't worry, raise the price again. $2 for 1 spirit stone. $2 for 5 spirit stones. Gu Changqing's voice had just fallen, and Mo Haobai's voice rang out. Gu Changqing glanced at Mo Haobai's position and Dong Yan, who was beside him with a smug look on his face, as if to say, don't you want money? Come on, continue. Gu Changqing didn't continue to raise the price, but asked. Are you standing up for her? Mo Haobai sneered. Since it's an auction, it's natural that the one who pays will know. Come on, keep bidding. The young master doesn't have much of anything, but a lot of spirit stones. I'll teach you a lesson one day. You can't afford to offend everyone on Haiyue Island. As long as I, Mo Haobai, am here, it's your business if you can bid for something. Heh. Gu Changqing smiled, and the long sword in the middle of the sound clang seemed to appear out of thin air, and it slashed at Mo Haobai. The bright sword light illuminated half of the venue, and the formation runes of the auction venue were flashing wildly. Bang! Several disposable spirit talismans on Mo Haobai's body exploded. At the critical moment, he reacted quickly and retracted his arm, otherwise the sword just now would have cut off his arm. Even so, Mo Haobai was frightened out of his body in a cold sweat. Everyone in the auction hall was frightened by this scene. No one expected that Gu Changqing would dare to act directly in the auction hall. And the other party was the young master of the Mo family, one of the 5 semi-king families in Haiyue Island, Mo Haobai. Feeling the terrible fluctuations left by the sword, everyone's heart tightened. This person is so strong. Gu Changqing did not make another sword. Instead, he looked at the pale and bewildered Mo Haobai. Are you rich? Do you have a lot of spirit stones? Come on, don't worry, raise the price again. Gu Changqing sat back. He was a little impatient. Next, as long as Mo Haobai dared to raise the price again, Gu Changqing would kill him. Boom! Everyone in the auction house was in a state of panic. You are the boss, raise the price again. 1 sword, plus this sentence, let everyone feel Gu Changqing's dominance, no matter who you are, the young master of the Mo family, if you dare to raise the price, I will kill you. As for Dong Yan, she was already paralyzed on the bed at this moment, terrified. Although Gu Changqing's sword just now was not aimed at her, the aftermath of that sword still scared her half to death. If that sword was not aimed at Mo Haobai, but at her Dong Yan couldn't imagine it. She didn't have as many life-saving talismans as Mo Haobai. It was too embarrassing. Just now, Mo Haobai threatened that if he was there, Changqing would not be able to take any of his items next time. As a result, he was slapped in the face, this face-slapping sound. After a long time, Haobai recovered from the previous shock. He stared at Changqing closely. His face was extremely ugly, but he didn't dare to say a word. He didn't dare to bet that Changqing didn't dare to kill him. Changqing saw his appearance and knew that he must be dissatisfied in his heart. He sneered, "My name is Changqing. I will stay on Haiyue Island for a day or two. Don't say I don't give you a chance to revenge. But I only say one thing, if you can't kill me, I will kill your whole family." Wow, crazy. Too crazy. Everyone can feel that Changqing is almost crazy. This time, it is not only a threat to Haobai, but also a direct threat to the Mo family, one of the 5 semi-king families on Haiyue Island. The people present, even the semi-king strongmen, are a little terrified at this moment. This is definitely a ruthless person. Some of the half-kings present asked themselves if they had the courage to threaten the Mo family, one of the 5 major families. The Mo family, one of the 5 half-king families, has 2 half-kings in charge. In the next auction, Changqing won what he wanted as he wished. After the previous incident, not only Haobai did not dare to bid with Changqing, but others were also more or less afraid of Changqing, a ruthless man. So few people dared to bid for the items Changqing bid. Haobai and Dong Yen left early. After losing face like this, he naturally would not stay here any longer. In the end, the water wolf king corpse, teeth, bones, fur, internal organs, etc. sent by Changqing for auction sold for a total of more than 100,000 spirit stones. Changqing was very satisfied. Haobai found his father as soon as he came back from the Mo family. When has Haobai ever been humiliated like this? If he doesn't get back at this, how can he still have the face to stay in Haiyue Island? But after hearing this, the head of the Mo family looked very calm. Dad, seeing that his father didn't say anything, Haobai looked at the head of the Mo family in confusion. Haobai, you are not a child anymore. You are the heir of the Mo family, but how can I trust you to hand over the Mo family to you when you are like this? Don't mess around with your friends. It's useless. Haobai was stunned. He didn't expect his father to have such an attitude. That man threatened not only Haobai, but also the entire Mo family. This is related to the face of the Mo family. If this tone is not expressed, where is the dignity of the Mo family? How will others view his Mo family? Anyone dares to threaten his Mo family and provoke his Mo family? Seeing that Haobai was still confused, the head of the Mo family was even more disappointed, and at the same time he blamed himself. He had been busy with family affairs these years and neglected to train and discipline Haobai. Use your pig brain to think about it. He is only 10 years old, at least in the early stage of the Calamity Realm, or even in the middle stage. How can a sect that can train such a proud person be an ordinary force? You dare to threaten my Mo family when you are in Haiyue City. You want to trouble such a person. Do you think your life is not long enough? Or do you want my Mo family to perish soon? But when the head of the Mo family missed Haobai, he patted his shoulder. Haobai, you should grow up. If the Mo family is handed over to you, I am afraid it will not take long before they will be removed from this sea area. The head of the Mo family left, leaving Haobai with a dazed look on his face. After the head of the Mo family said this, he calmed down immediately. Recalling Changqing's calmness at the auction house, he shuddered. There are only 2 possibilities for someone to threaten him and the entire Mo family in front of the Mo family. The first possibility is that the other party is not in the Mo family at all. The second possibility is that the other party is a fool and his brain is not very good. But, can a person who can cultivate to the realm of disaster at the age of about 10 be a fool? Haobai suddenly felt that he was really stupid. Chapter 19, Zhu Xian Sword Formation, Start. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the next 2 days, Changqing was not in a hurry to leave. After going to the auction house to collect the spirit stones, he and Qinger returned to the inn. not that Gu Changqing wasn't that bored waiting for the Mo family to take revenge. The Mo family's affairs had been forgotten by him for a long time, and he never paid attention to them. That's fine if he doesn't come. If he does come, Gu Changqing doesn't want the Mo family to be removed from Haiyue Island. He is not a good man and a believer. The opportunity is given to you. If you insist on seeking death, then I will help you. The reason why Gu Changqing continues to stay on the island is to make alchemy. He had a large amount of alchemy materials with him, and Gu Changqing planned to refine them first before leaving, so as to avoid having to make another trip to Haiyue Island if he lacked any medicinal materials. 2 days later, Gu Changqing's elixir was refined, during which the Mo family did not take any revenge. On this day, when Gu Changqing was preparing to leave Haiyue Island with Gu Qinger, suddenly, on Haiyue Island, the silent sky became surrounded by black mist, and dozens of black-clothed figures flew from a distance. They stepped on the flying monsters and landed in the sky above Haiyue City. These people are all at the half-step king realm. The leaders include an old man in black robes and an old man in white robes. Their auras are like an abyss, which is even more unfathomable. Gu Changqing's spiritual sense is keen and his spiritual consciousness is powerful. He can tell at a glance that this person's cultivation level far surpasses that of an ordinary half-king. Half-king consummation. Gu Changqing's heart moved. The half-king was perfect, and he was only one step away from the king's realm. Looking at the entire southern part of the Sea of 10,000 Demons, there are existences standing at the top of the pyramid. They are almost invincible when the king's realm is not. There are more than 10 half-kings underneath. This is obviously not an unknown force. At this moment, as the men in black and others arrived, they directly enveloped the entire Changqing Island through the black mist, and jointly arranged a large ceiling formation. The old man in black robe looked down, expressionless. He and the old man in white robe both came from an extremely powerful sect in the southern part of the Sea of 10,000 Demons, the Wuyue Xian sect. Although there are no king-level experts in Wuyue Xuanzong, he and the white-robed old man are both half-step to the king level, plus there are more than 10 half-kings under their command. They are also a half-king force, but Wuyue Xuanzong is obviously much more powerful than the 5 half-king families on Haiyue Island. There are a lot of half-kings from the 5 half-king families, 8 in total, but most of them are in the middle half-king stage, and there are only 2 late-stage half-kings. As for the perfect half-king, there is not one. Soon, the entire Changqing Island was completely blocked by the formation, and the thick black fog blocked the island. When an unlucky guy in the true spirit realm was preparing to go to the island, he hit the sky shrouded in black mist. In an instant, there was a blood-curdling scream. Finally, the black-robed foundation building monks carried his shriveled body. All the blood and essence drained from his body, leaving only a storage bag that was taken off. Seeing this scene, countless people on the island panicked and were extremely frightened. What's going on? Why did someone blockade the island? That the monks who came here were preparing for the island, and they were all in a hurry. Whoosh whoosh. In Haiyue Island, nearly 10 figures rushed towards them at the same time. They were the powerful half-kings from the 5 half-king families on Haiyue Island. Their identities were recognized by the monks in Haiyue City. The head of the 5 major families, the head of the Wang family, came over and frowned at the group of black-robed men blocking Haiyue Island. These people come with bad intentions. The head of the Wang family frowned, looked at the old man in black robes at the head, and said in a deep voice, "Everyone, what do you mean? Hand over the things." The old man in black robe in the sky opened slowly. "Senior, what does this mean? This junior doesn't understand something." "What is it?" That the old man in black robes stared hard. "Stop pretending. Xuanhuan Island, do you understand? St. Yuan Island." That the head of the Wang family looked calm, but his heart was shaking. How can it be so shameless? How did they know? That it turns out that not long ago, the head of the Wang family received a jade plaque from a ruins called Xingming Island in the sea. This jade tablet is related to a powerful king who once fell in Wanyaonanhai. It is very likely to be the key to opening the cave. After getting this key, he never mentioned it to anyone, not even his closest relatives. How did the men in black robes in front of him know? Logically speaking, it shouldn't be done. Head of the royal family, what does this mean? The half-kings of other major families on Haiyue Island also looked at the head of the royal family. What's going on? Obviously, they didn't know that the head of the royal family had obtained the key to the cave of a king-level expert. It was a bit baffling, and it also affected Qiyu. Although the 5.5 royal families of Haiyue Island share common interests, their relationship with each other is not very good. The group of black-robed men in the sky blocking Haiyue Island seems to have something to do with the head of the Wang family. At this moment, the head of the Wang family had a calm expression on his face, and did not show any emotion in his heart. He snorted coldly, I don't know what they are talking about. In any case, the head of the Wang family refused to admit that he had attracted the man in black robe. Seeing that the head of the Wang family refused to admit it, the old man in black robes in the air didn't care at all. How could he not know the head of the Wang family's little thoughts? He smiled evilly, it doesn't matter if you don't admit it. After killing it, the things will naturally be yes. Wait, seal off Haiyue Island and don't let a single fly go. It is related to the cave and inheritance of the King Realm powerhouse, so don't dare to be careless. It is better to kill the wrong person than to let it go. In the eyes of the black-robed old man, everyone on the entire Haiyue Island is a dead person. Although their Wuyu Xian sect is not an evil sect, today, they may have to do something that an evil sect does. The white-robed old man frowned and said. Destroy the Wang family and seize the jade token. You want to kill all the cultivators on the island, but I'm afraid it's not appropriate. Once this matter spreads, it will probably cause dissatisfaction among the king-level forces in Wanyaonanhai. The black-robed old man's eyes were cold, and he said, what if they are dissatisfied? Once we get the cave of that king-level strongman and advance to the king-level, Wuyu Xian sect will also be a king-level force. What are you afraid of? Besides, if we really anger those king-level forces, we can just flee far away, not in Wanyaonanhai, or even in Wanyaosi. Once we achieve the king level, the world is so big, there is no place we can't go. The man spoke without hiding it from the others. In the sky, he looked at the cultivators in the market on the ground of Haiyue Island like lambs to be slaughtered, but after the content of their conversation was leaked, the black-robed old man exuded an indiscriminate killing intent, and released it without reservation, covering all the cultivators on the island. Okay. The white-robed old man was helpless. At this time, Wuyu Xian Zone must work together. The cave of the King Realm strongman and the inheritance of advancing to the King Realm are too important. This is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them. Boom. Boom. The two half-king perfect strongmen at the scene released their pressure together. The sky of the entire Haiyue Island was blocked without any flaws. The black mist turned into poisonous snakes, circling around the island, spitting out snake tongues, and the cold corners of the eyes flashed with the aura of the talisman. Now, even the half-king cultivators have no way to leave. This pressure is not good. It's a half-king who has reached perfection. Damn it, it's a half-king who has reached perfection. It's over, it's over. If the people who came were just a larger number of half-kings, even if there were half-kings in the late stage, the 5 major families of Haiyue Island might not be without a battle, and everyone still had a chance to survive. However, half-king who has reached perfection. Everyone was terrified and their faces turned pale. In the market, many monks who came to Haiyue Island to trade, as well as the scattered monks, were all furious. Hearing that the old man in black robe was ready to slaughter all the monks on the island without distinction, countless monks were anxious. You have a grudge against the Wang family, so just go to the Wang family. What does it have to do with us? You are monks from the island, and you come to participate in the auction house. It has nothing to do with the Wang family. Senior, can you let us live? As a result, everyone did not wait for any response. It was obvious that the old man in black robe and the old man in white robe were respected in the sky and would never let anyone go. In Haiyue City, there are many disciples of the semi-king forces, all of whom are furious. Some of them just passed by here and heard about the auction on Haiyue Island, so they came here to see it. Who would have thought that disaster would come from the sky and encounter such a thing? There are many cultivators like them, but the people of Wuyu Xuanzong in the sky don't care. They directly set up a formation to block and killed several casual cultivators who wanted to escape from the island. Are you really going to destroy it? In front of the inn, Changqing looked at the sky helplessly. He just wanted to leave when he encountered this. Is it such a coincidence? The black-robed old man looking at the sky said, I don't want to get involved in this matter, and I don't know the various things between you. Moreover, this is a matter between you and the Wang family. Why bother others? Changqing's others are not talking about the people on the island, but himself. The life and death of the people on the island have nothing to do with him. He just wants to take Qinger and leave here. At this time, many people also recognized Changqing, the arrogant young man who dared to threaten Mo Haobai and even the Mo family at the auction house. Surprisingly, after threatening Mo Haobai and the Mo family, Changqing was still safe and sound. Mu Zi and Yin Taishang also noticed Changqing. They were a little desperate at first, but when they saw Changqing, they were deeply relieved. They thought Changqing had left long ago. If that happened, it would be over. Disaster realm. The black-robed old man looked down from the sky and took a closer look at Changqing. Changqing was too young. Mu Zi and Yin Taishang were also a little nervous at this moment. They were really worried that the black-robed old man would nod and agree, but the next sentence of the black-robed old man made them all relieved. Sometimes life is like this. You have cultivated to the calamity realm at this age, which shows that you are gifted, but unfortunately, things are unpredictable. Today, no one can leave, even if you are a genius of the king-level forces. The black-robed old man said. Changqing's eyes were deep, really unwilling to let go. He. The black-robed old man smiled and did not answer. The answer was obvious. Wu Yu Xianzong destroyed Haiyu Island this time in order to seize the key to the cave of the king-level strongmen. At this time, he did not intend to let anyone on the island who might leak the news leave. Even if it was irrelevant, there was a mistake in killing, and he was not let go. There have been many corpses on the road of martial arts since ancient times. If you want to blame these people for their bad lives. Okay. Changqing shrugged. He did not want to get involved in these incidents, but he had no choice, looking at the old man in black robe. I just hope you don't regret it. Regret? Nothing I have done in my life has made me feel regretful. However, before the old man in black robe finished speaking, his face changed drastically. A terrible sense of death enveloped his whole body, and the old man in black robe's pupils suddenly widened. Changqing's entire body seemed to be a fairy sword piercing the sky, and it was extremely sharp, directly aiming at the old man in black robe. Xian sword formation, start. Cut. Point 1 sword, it is a sure kill. Chapter 20, 1 sword, total destruction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Buzz, wherever the sword light comes. Directly cover the old man in black robe. The moment Changqing drew his sword, the old man in black robe noticed something was wrong, but the sword came so fast that the old man in black robe didn't even have time to escape. The pure white sword light dissipated, the space was slightly distorted, and the figure of the black-robed old man had completely disappeared. There was not even a trace left behind between heaven and earth. With one sword strike, everyone on Haiyu Island fell silent. My mind is in turmoil. Half step to the perfection of the king realm, just like this, die. That's half a step to the perfection of the king's realm, only one step away from the king's realm. It's not some rotten fish and shrimp. At this moment, everyone looking at Changqing was full of awe. There is no before, now. Changqing looked quietly at the place where the old man in black robe had been standing. Do you regret it? Changqing believed that the old man in black robe must have regretted before he died. I regret that he shouldn't have been so caring, and even more regret that he shouldn't have stopped Changqing from leaving. If Changqing was allowed to leave at that time, would he not have to die? He is not a king. Taishangyin was equally uneasy. He has always thought that Changqing was a strong man in the king realm, but when Changqing made his move just now, the aura on his body was clearly that of the early stage of the tribulation realm. But the shock in Taishangyin's heart did not weaken because of this, but became even stronger. If Changqing was in the king realm, Taishanyin would not be so shocked. It is very easy to kill half a king in the king's realm, even if it is half a king's perfection. Gu Changqing is not in the king realm, but in the early stage of the tribulation realm. In the early stage of the tribulation realm, killing half the king is perfect. And only use one sword. Yin Taisheng felt so unreal. Next, the young master of the Mo family, Mo Haobai, opened his mouth, an inexplicable fear rising from the bottom of his heart. My body even couldn't help but tremble. Not long ago, he actually wanted to trouble Gu Changqing without overestimating his capabilities. Are you looking for trouble with a king-level expert? Do you think your life is not long enough? Fortunately, my dear woke me up in time. Thinking of it, Mo Haobai was frightened for a while. If the Mo family really went to take revenge on Gu Changqing at that time, the consequences would be disastrous. Many people who have participated in the auction will naturally be familiar with Gu Changqing. The arrogant scene of Gu Changqing at the auction house left a deep impression on them. Heiyu Island threatens Mo Haobai and threatens the Mo family, one of the 5.5 royal families. At that time, they thought that Gu Changqing was afraid that he would not be able to leave Heiyu Island alive, but now it seems, they seem to understand why Gu Changqing dared to be so domineering and arrogant at the auction. With one sword, he killed half the king. With such strength, how could he put the 5 families of Heiyu Island in his eyes? If the matter ends here, then let it go. If the Mo family really dares to trouble Gu Changqing later, then it seems that it will not be difficult for Gu Changqing to wipe out the Mo family easily. Now everyone finally understands why the Mo family still hasn't made any move after Gu Changqing said he would stay on Heiyu Island for 2 days. I'm afraid the Mo family has already noticed something. It's not that they didn't move, but they didn't dare to move. The person who had laughed at the Mo family for being cowardly now realized that he was the really stupid one. Escape. After witnessing the black-robed old man being killed by Gu Changqing's sword, more than 10 half-king masters of Wuyue Xuanzong, including another white-robed old man with perfect half-king status, became numb. The first reaction at this moment was not to join forces to kill Gu Changqing, but to run away. More than a dozen powerful half-kings turned into several streaks of light and scattered and fled. This scene shocked everyone on Heiyu Island. The men in black, who were still arrogant before, threatened to blockade Heiyu Island and massacre all the creatures on Heiyu Island. Did they all escape? But when I think of Gu Changqing's terrifying strength, it becomes clear, facing a strong man of this level, a king-level being, if he doesn't run away, will he wait for death? But will Gu Changqing let them escape? To kill one person is to kill a group of people is to kill, so as to avoid leaving behind troubles. With a thought in his mind, the spiritual sword that formed the base of the formation burst out of the air. In just a moment, more than 10 half-kings were plundered and killed. The old man in white robe, who was only half a king, was captured by Gu Changqing and struggled for mercy. Senior, please spare my life. I am the supreme elder of Wuyue Xuanzong. I am willing to be your best friend. I only ask you to spare my life. Originally, Gu Changqing planned to crush him to death directly, but his words made Gu Changqing's heart move. Currently, among the Gu family, he is the only one in the king realm. Although Jiang Lianxin is a monster, he is still far away from the king realm. In addition, he is currently pregnant, which has delayed a lot of practice. In case he goes out, there will be no second king in the Gu family to guard him. Although this old man in white robe is not at the king level, he is half-king. For Gu Changqing, it is not difficult for a half-king to successfully advance to the king realm. The Heart Sutra of the Emperor Alchemy contains an ancient elixir called the 3-yuan barrier-breaking Dan, which can increase the probability of breaking through to the king's realm, and he has already refined 3 of these elixirs. Gu Changqing himself will naturally not be able to use them. With his own talent, he does not need to use any elixirs to increase the probability of breaking through to the king realm, but some people around him who are not so talented, such as his relatives, elders, took it when they reached the 9th level of the tribulation realm. Gu Changqing only refined 3 for spare use, but now it seems that he may have to use them in advance. Let you go, it's not impossible. Chief Gu threw out a black pill. Take him and I will spare your life. The old man in white robe took one look at the black pill and swallowed it without any hesitation. Now he just wants to survive. if he hesitates for even a moment and arouses Gu Changqing's dissatisfaction, he will definitely die. After taking the black elixir, the old man in white robe felt as if his soul was being pinched tightly by an invisible hand. As long as he thought about it, he would die suddenly. This elixir was refined by Gu Changqing a few days ago. It can control the souls of others. The effect is just as the old man in white robe imagined. No matter where he is, if Gu Changqing wants to kill him, he only needs one thought. Are you a little careless? Gu Changqing looked at the old man in white robe and asked. I don't dare. The old man in white robe quickly knelt down. Yeah. Gu Changqing nodded, and said, follow me. It may not be a bad thing to say anything to you. With your qualifications, if you don't get a huge opportunity, there is no hope of being a king in this life, but with me, being a king is just start. It's not that Gu Changqing is a trickster, he does have this ability. The white-robed old man himself is half-king perfection, only one step away from the true king realm. Of course, this so-called one step away, I don't know how many half-step king-level experts are stuck, and one step is stuck for a lifetime. The old man in white robe is in a very complicated mood at the moment. He is sad that he has lost his freedom, but he is happy that he hopes to break through to the king realm in the future. He firmly believed in Gu Changqing's words. Gu Changqing's talent is here. In the early stage of the tribulation realm, he already has the strength of the king realm. What potential is this? I'm afraid he's the legendary genius on the spiritual list, but that's it, right? This is even an opportunity for myself. If people like this grow up in the future, not to mention those who are half-step to the king realm like myself, many real king realm experts will be eager to follow Gu Changqing. Maybe one day in the future, Gu Changqing begs him to leave, but he may not be willing to leave. Lord, my name is Bai Huan.